Hey guys, welcome back. So, today's day is a little southwesterny. I have not made a southwestern cane in a long time. And I wanted to make some more earrings that were pretty much more desert themed. Because I do live in the desert. And I just love the colors. But the thing that I'm doing that's different this time is normally I use a cad yellow, a regular orange, and sometimes cad red, mostly pomegranate. But I'm adding a couple warm colors in this time. So I'm using a pomegranate red. I'm using Sculpey Premo burnt orange. But I'm also using Souffle's yellow ochre. Or ochre, whatever you guys use. I guess it's a different pronunciation wherever you live, right? So I'm just making 4 little squares. And this is run at the thickest setting. It's not going to be a huge cane. And I'll decide whether I want to wrap it in like a blue as well, like a turquoise. I don't know yet. I haven't made it that far. I really wanted to make like a southwestern design, like a bunch of squares and stuff like that, but I cannot draw it out. And as I'm speaking to you right now, I just realized that I have a Aztec design cutter. So that might have to be another video. And another way to cheat, right? Okay, we'll make this first. But I could maybe incorporate this into the cane. Or I'm just going to use that and make another video with another southwestern style cane, I guess. That one's going to take a little bit of thought. Alrighty, so we're just trying to get a Skinner blend made. And I just kind of push it down and get it into a triangle here. And yes, I do have cutters that I made for this, but I got them all in 3 inches. So I need to make some smaller ones so that I can do this. And it is another horribly slow day with work, so I'm taking the opportunity to make some rollers that were sold out. And hopefully we'll have all that back in the store today. Summer is really tough. Oop, I don't want that. I want them all in a row. The summer is usually slow because all the kids are out of school. So it'll be the perfect time to work on some new designs. Also, I had an opportunity a couple of months ago. I told you if you have some designs that you want me to make, that I would make them and send you a full set. 3 of you did that, and you should have your cutters by now. So thank you for giving me a few design ideas, and I hope you like your cutters. If anybody else has any more designs, please let me know, and we will try and make them for you. Alright, so we're going to make a Skinner blend at these 3. And I'm running it through the thickest setting. But then I'm going to run it through at a number 3. Just so it blends a little faster. coming along very well. I was thinking of investing in a motor for my machine, and then I've seen videos where people are using them and they're just so loud. So I don't think we're going to end up getting a motor. It sure would make this a lot easier. But at the same time, it's pretty relaxing. Alright, so I'm going to do just a little more. And I think we're good. Okay, so let me pull this through. Got a little more yellow than I've got anything else here. As you can see. It's not perfect. Sometimes I can get them really nice and square, other times they just get all funky. It is what it is. Now I'm going to run it through at a number 3. And you could even run it at a number 5 and just keep going, but yeah, I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to take this little end here and fold it up. And I have to thin it out here because the rest of it is so much thinner. And I'm just doing that because I'm notorious for air bubbles. Ah, Makita speaks. There's no mail today. So that gave me kind of an extra day to play and not worry if orders come in. All right. So there we go. So I could literally leave this like this. Or I can add some blues to it. I can even add some brown to it. And then it's okay, what color blue do I want? Okay, so I have some red and white. I do have these leaves that I made in a previous video. Yeah, see, I need to Southwestern this up a little bit, I think. Alright, so I think he's coming out. And then I have this blue, which I don't believe matches. And then I've got some bullseye. Okay, so on this one, I'm going to wrap it with a little bit of, I guess, blue. A turquoise blue. I just don't know if I want to put some beige and then add some blue, or just go straight with blue. I think I'm going to go straight with blue. Oh, I love soft clay that's not soft, but soft enough to where I can work with it. And on this one, I'm going to run it through at the thickest setting for first, and then we'll see how that looks over it. So this is going to end up being a really big cane by the time I'm done with it. So I just want to see if I like it at the thickest setting. And I'm also probably only going to use half of this. Might be a little too thick. So we're going to take this down to a number 3. Okay, and we're just going to leave it alone. I don't think I've ever made a Makumigani in these colors either. So that might be something that I need to make too. So I feel like my videos go in spurts, so I've got like certain themes that I'll work on. Whether it's bright, I'll make a bunch of videos on making canes that are bright, and on this one will be Southwestern, and I've got a couple ideas running through my head now. See, all it takes sometimes is just to start, and then you can think of stuff that you want to do. Okay, so that is that, right? Now, would this look good? And this is not the cane I'm going to use, but should I put some black and white around this? Or I have some white and translucent here. I just want to kind of see what this is going to look like. I guess it would help if I had a clean edge, right? This is really thin. Alright, I don't think I'm going to use that. Okay, so we're going to grab 2 more colors first. And this, I believe, is ivory. It has been sitting in this bag forever. So I'm kind of happy that I am able to get rid of it. And it looks like it was just scrap, because I got a couple pieces of gray in here. And who knows what else, but it should be okay. Alright, so I'm going to soften this because it's a little rough, and then hit pause and I'll come back when this is done. Okay, so we have some beige here, and there was a little bit of color that was mixed in it, so I didn't blend it all through because I didn't know if it would change this color, so I left it in there. I don't think you're gonna see it in the cane itself. So I didn't clean it perfectly, but I do want to make a cane with this and a dark brown, and I'm probably going to use a cowboy color more than I will. Oh, see, and I have a sienna. Instead of using a dark brown, use a sienna, or I could use a more muted color, which would be cowboy. And I'm thinking cowboy was used in the leaves. It's definitely not brown. Okay, so I'm gonna go grab some cowboy and I'll be right back. Alrighty, so I found some cowboy. And that's what we're gonna use with this. And And yeah, Cowboy kind of cut up with these little rough edges. There's some clay that does it really bad, and some clay, it's fine. So I don't know why it does that, but some just seem to do this more than other clays. Maybe it's just not conditioned as well as it should. But, okay, let's just try that. I don't think I'm going to go that high up. And this is also at a number 3. Okay, so this kind of muted it down a little bit. So this video is being put up about a week after we got back from our trip. Interesting trip. He did really well on the drive, I have to admit. On the way back wasn't so great. It was back to the normal, aggressive, let's get on everybody's tail kind of driving. So that kind of made me uneasy. But for the most part, it was okay. The hotel, so this casino hotel was built, it was Flamingo or something like that, but it was built into something called the Aquarius. I think it was 2008, actually. It wasn't that long ago. And oh my God, it was horrible. Saturday night, I find something crawling on the floor in the bathroom. And I grabbed a tissue and tried to smush it because I thought it was just, you know, regular spider. And when I looked at it, it was flat and round. And the first thought that came to me was, oh my God, this is a tick. And nope, it wasn't a tick. So I couldn't do anything about it. My husband had golfed the next morning, so I wasn't going to wake him up. And so we waited, and so yeah, I waited until morning, and I called obviously the office. And as I'm calling the office, telling them I found a bug in the room, they send security up. So apparently security takes care of this, which I thought was extremely odd. And they came up, and as I'm talking to them, I'm pulling the sheets off the bed just to have a look-see, and it was a bed bug. So there were about 4 in the bed, and yeah, that totally freaked me out. Obviously, you get the little heebie-jeebies, and you're itching, and so he came, and he didn't even want to come in the room and look at them. It's like, really? You don't even want to come in and look at them? Okay. So I put it in a cup, and I took the cup over to him. And so we got our rooms comped, let's just say that. But, my God, their cleaning crew was horrible. I mean, for such a beautiful hotel, they let it just go to crap. And Laughlin is not Laughlin anymore. I mean, it's not like the Vegas Strip. I think you got like 4 miles. I think we counted there are 10 casinos. 1 on this side and the other 9 are over here. I mean, it's just a strip in the middle of nowhere, basically. And they have an outlet mall there, which is pretty cool to go visit. That was pretty much falling apart. The escalators didn't work. I took the stairs because there's no way I'm getting in their elevator if they're not even maintaining their escalators. And out of probably 50 stores that were in there, there's only like 10 left. And one of them was closing right after we got there for the day because it was 81 degrees. The air conditioners aren't working. The owners of the property are not fixing the air conditioners. And, you know, they're not going to let their employees work in this condition. So they ended up shutting that down. And it was just like, I don't believe this. A main hotel over there, I don't know if any of you have been to Laughlin, the staple was the Ship. And the Ship is the Colorado Belle. And it's a casino that's shaped in, I don't know if you want to call it like a Titanic type ship. But I guess the foundation is bad, and you know, because this is right on the Colorado River, and I don't know if the water's destroyed underneath, but it's been closed, and I guess they finally made the decision to completely close it. And so, yeah, it was like a ghost town in a way. There were hardly any people on the streets. Granted, it was 97 degrees at 1 in the morning, so I don't think anybody would want to be in that, but it was just the weirdest experience ever, and no, I don't think we'll be back. I think if you have jet skis and stuff like that, then it's a place to go. But if you don't have any water toys, yeah, now he'll probably buy some water toys, but it really isn't a place to go. It's definitely not what it used to be. So overall, our trip was you know. I came back with all my money, so I'm pretty happy about that. I didn't really want to go in the first place, and really didn't want to lose money right now. And my poor daughter, she sells something called Arbonne. She's a nurse, but in her spare time, she sells these protein drinks and wellness products and skincare and stuff from a company called Arbonne. And next month there's a convention in Vegas, and she's driving alone. And my daughter's doesn't have a problem with driving. I hate it. So now I'm like, God, do I really want her to have to drive alone? Blah, blah, blah. Do I just want to drive with her? So who knows? I might be in Vegas in about 2 weeks. But she just bought that puppy, and we babysat it last night, and I don't think she has a babysitter for that weekend, so I might just have to stay home if she won't have a sitter. But yeah, from now on, if we do any kind of trips like that, it'll probably be Vegas, and Laughlin will be out of the picture. It's out of our system. Well, his system, not mine. Did it convince him not to move to that area? I sure hope so. Because Bullhead City is not too bad, but it's still surrounded by nothingness, and that's what I can't do. But overall, it was okay. It was wonderful to come back to 100-degree weather. Believe it or not. At least here we cool down at night. So it still gets like in the 60s and at best maybe the 70s. But we do have our heat waves where it doesn't cool down at all. But it's definitely not like Vegas and Laughlin and Phoenix, where it just stays hot all night long. Yeah, I'm making this just so I have a little bit of a cane that's just plain old brown and beige. I think I'm just going to roll this baby up. But we are done with trips for a while. I might take a trip to Palm Springs later this summer, you know, when it's extremely hot, right? And go visit my sister-in-law. And if I want to gamble, they've got those there too, and you don't have to travel as far. It was a 4.5-hour drive to get to Laughlin. Getting to Vegas is about a little short of 4 hours, so it's 3:59, something like that. And it's just the most boring drive ever. But at least it's got stops in the middle. You know, where you can grab some food or just stretch or something like that. Okay, so there we go. So this is our cane. We'll see how it looks when we're done, but we're going to go ahead and add some of this black and white. And I'm just trying to figure out how big I want to make these. So let me go ahead and cut some of these up. We are almost at 2 inches, so we're just going to make a couple 2-inch strips. And again, we'll be right back. Alrighty, so we are back, and we probably used too small of a square, but that's okay. But it's pretty tall. So we are going to condense this and try and make it a little longer. But we're going to do this real careful. Because although you're squishing everything on top, the middles are not moving like they should. Okay. So basically, we just want to get it to there. All right. I'm going to go a little bigger because you're going to have a little bit of waste. And I'm going to see if I can do that. All right. And I always never know which side on this to cut. Okay, so we're going to take a look and we're going to see if I like the stripes at that size. So I'm going to get at least 2 good ends, or close to good ends, right? And I think those will be okay. Hopefully I made enough to go all the way around. I'm just trying to find that perfect end here. Okay. So I'm thinking that's the end I'm going to use. So I don't like making these too thick. And I've got a noise behind me, which is my 3D printer, and I'm not really happy with the noise that it's making. So I'm going to take a peek really quick. Well, now I know why. So this is what happens sometimes, and this is after a couple of hours, which really sucks. So this is our Makumigani thing that I made, and well, we had an issue. So basically all that time making this just basically got wasted. I don't know exactly what happened, so we're gonna trash that and we'll start it again later. All right, so this just looks a little too thin for what I want to do. So we're going to go a little thicker. So let me just see where I had it. Alright, so I'm going to go a little longer. And basically by the time this goes around and gets reduced, you're not going to see too much of the imperfection. So I think it's about right there. Make sure you use the right side of your blade. I do have a market tool that I could be using, but I didn't this time. Okay, there's black on the bottom. Oh no, there's white on the top. Alright, there should not have been any white on the bottom. Silly girl. So now I literally have to take one of these white strips off. So let's see, what else happened this weekend? We came back to a couple fires. I think I posted that on my Creative Dork page because I had a couple emails of people asking. I guess they heard it on the news. Obviously we didn't have a TV on, so we saw it as we were heading out, basically, because I got the notification on my phone. And they were all put out, thank goodness. I don't know about the big one that started. I think it's still going. So we're at least a week, almost a week. I don't know how much damage that one's caused as far as structures. That was started by a horse trailer on the freeway, and some guy had a chain that was dragging on the freeway, and that created the spark that caused the fire. So I'm happy that it wasn't arson, but still, you wouldn't think something like that would ignite. But if you live in California, you would understand that everything is pretty much dry. So actually, I need 2 black strips on this one. So I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to use this one. And then for the past couple of days, we've had a couple of fires since we've been home. And I honestly think we have a bug out there that's just having fun lighting fires wherever he goes. So hopefully he'll be caught. Alrighty, so now we are going to reduce this. This is big, like I thought it would be. So we're going to hit pause while we reduce this down. And I haven't decided whether I want this to be the centerpiece of our cane yet. So let me go ahead and get this to a perfect size, and we'll come back and we'll put it all together. See you in a bit. Alrighty, we are back. So I unwrapped all the canes that I had. I lost my little blade here, which is typical of me, as you guys know very well now. Oh well, this will work. I don't quite know how to put this together just yet. So this is that brown cowboy and latte, or ivory. I just know that this is all souffle right here. And I'm not sure how I want to use this. I don't know if I want to use it small or stretch it out. Because all of these canes have this black around it. So that's kind of worrying me now that I'm here to put it together. Because it might just happen to, how do I put it, mesh into one of another. So we may have to use this as some kind of a, like a border between the two. Or I'm going to literally have to make these over again without putting that black around it. Hopefully that made sense. For now, I'm just going to thin this out a little more. And then I might have to go see if I have any more cane that I can use. So we're just going to stretch this out. Yeah, see, that's really thick. but it can be thick. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 2 inches off of this. And I'm just going to stretch it out like that. You know, enough to kind of curve it, right? Because I do like the little curvies. I definitely need some blue in there. Okay. Oh, what the heck, Irene. Let's go ahead and do the same with this one on the other side. Okay, so we could either connect it like that and curve this down like this, all right, and put the little blue here. Yeah, I think that's probably what we're going to have to do. I wonder if there's something I can put in the middle right there. But you see how they're all like that. All right, let's see what I've got to put in the middle of here. I might, before I do, I know I have red. This is really soft right here. No, I have another one of them. This one's a little smaller. Okay. Let me grab a couple more of these and I'll be right back. Alrighty, guys. Well, I found another one of these, but I don't have any cane that doesn't have this little black piece on it. So I don't know. We may have to make another piece, right? But I did find this, and this was something that we worked on a long time ago. So we got plenty of blues. So we're going to make this smaller, all right? Yeah, I didn't plan too well for this one, did I? But then I never plan any of my canes, so it's kind of like whatever I come up with, right? And I mean, I could take the red. All right, let's do this first. And kind of make a little border on both sides. I kind of want to make this even. So it's usually best to get your little long strip here. Sorry. So that you kind of get it even. Just had a Dr. Pepper and now I got the hiccups. Okay, so that's 2, right? So this is just kind of like a little border. I'm gonna need a lot more red though, aren't I? Okay, well, I could do some red. I guess I could do some orange. So let's just make 2 of these. And then again, cane regardless usually comes out fine. So don't put too much thought into it. It'll look pretty good when it's done. Okay. So we're just gonna see how this is gonna look before I get too invested in it. But I have an idea for a southwestern flower. It is rumbling in my head. So I think I know where we're going to go from here in our next video. I'm trying to squish this up really good to get all the air bubbles out. But obviously keep it the same size as the red. So I may only be able to do 1 at a time. It's a little bigger. Alright, so we're going to take this and we're going to pull it. Oop, without breaking it, just to make sure it's all even. Okay, and I'm going to kind of push this down. That way I may only need 1 yellow. Yeah, I didn't even think about all these black little pieces around every one of my canes. That was for, obviously, the last project. I just made a whole bunch of them. But now that I'm thinking about it, it's going to make a whole lot of black. So I need to avoid using all of those. Even though the colors were perfect, I think that black is just going to kind of take away from it. And I got a couple air bubbles in there, so oh well, it's always an experiment around here, always. And I do like the yellow, so I might end up putting 2 yellows down here, because these don't seem really bright, basically. Okay. Okay. So I think we're going to move this one over so we can get 1 more yellow in here. Okay, so that just kind of gets rid of that little black border, right? Now we have some leaves. And I'm debating which side to use. So I could either come in like this, and that way whatever's on this side will kind of match with that. Or I turn it back around. I have more blue right here. I only grabbed one though. Okay. This is a peacock pearl, not turquoise, so I'm not sure how this is going to look. Doesn't look horrible, but okay, we're gonna add this too. And then I don't know, I may add some more brown. And I know that this is a different blue, but I got some turquoise or something looking color up on top. All right, we're just going to go a little longer. Oh, I see. I have two different leaves. I have a leaf that's wrapped around with brown and a leaf wrapped around with blue. So that was the difference between those two. And I'm going to make two pieces. But I'm not sure I'm going to use both pieces. Just kind of want to see what they're going to look like. that just looks funky. Okay, well, I don't know what else to do. I could flatten this. I hate ruining a really pretty cane like this. But if I can flatten this all the way across. Alright, let's do something else. Let me just grab... I'm going to grab a red or an orange and put it right in between there. I think it may need some yellow. Did I tell you about the bees that we had? I don't know if I told you a couple weeks ago or maybe a week and a half ago that we were finding a bunch of dead bees by the side of the house. There were literally hundreds over, I don't know, maybe over a day or two. And we couldn't figure out what was wrong with them. They were just there. One day we just had a bunch of dead bees. And according to our pest guy, he thinks that a swarm was moving. They may have gotten poisoned. And just ended up dying right there. Or they could have been a swarm that lost its queen. And obviously you know that if you lose the queen, then they don't really live. So anyways, we couldn't figure it out. It was over with. And then when we came back from our trip, we found a swarm. These weren't dead. These were literally flying angrily around our tree. And so my son owns a drone. And we weren't going out there, obviously, so he got his drone set up outside really quick, and then he came back in through the window and started flying around the area. And we have a water valve box, so it's like in the front yard by the front window, and it's just a box, and that's where your main shutoff valve is for your water at the house. They were going down this little hole, and they built a nest. So at that point, we ended up calling a bee guy. And him and his wife came out later that evening and probably pulled out about 30,000 bees. And there was already a cone made. They already made a honeycomb in just a couple of hours that they were there. It was just truly amazing. And we learned so much more about bees. I had done a lot of research on them ever since that other one. And, God, they're amazing creatures. You really can't believe in evolution and believe in bees, just how there's just different types of bees that do different things. And you know, you've got the nurse bees that basically just help that queen grow, and you know, if the hive gets too big, then it splits because you can't have two queens in one hive. And so these nursing bees literally make a new queen bee. And what sets them off is a different, basically, enzyme, I guess, that, or cell or whatever. I don't know how it's done, but they know how to make a queen bee. They know how to make male bees. They know how to make worker bees. And it's all whatever these nurse bees put into them and stuff. And, oh my God, we learned so much. And it's interesting that when they took them out of the hive. I mean, if you call it, it's just a hole, but, you know, they were just covered. The girl had gloves on. The guy didn't. He just had a thing, but they brought it like a shop vac, you know, and just vacuumed them all out. And, yeah, they were just teaching us so much about them, and it's crazy. And if there's another queen that's born or whatever, then the hive will split, and then they've got to find a new home, you know, obviously, because if not, the queen will kill the other queen. And so that could have happened as well, was that the other ones, you know, the hive split, and they were looking for a new place, and maybe the queen died as it was flying around, and you know what I mean? So I don't quite know where those other bees came from or what happened to them, but yeah, so we watched them basically take the hive out of the ground, and we basically just stood there and watched, and we didn't have any protection, and the bees never came after us. They were so calm as they were vacuuming them up, which really surprised me, because I've always been afraid of bees. When I get bit, I don't know if I have an allergic reaction, but I have a slight reaction. You know, the bite will grow to the size of a baseball. But nothing like anaphylactic shock or anything like that. But yeah, they were fine having us around. We just didn't move and let them do their work. And yeah, so now they have a new home. And they're not dead. But unfortunately, there were some worker bees that were foraging, or foragers, whatever you want to call them, were looking for food. And so they came back to no hive, no queen. And that's the sad part, because they have no purpose except for the queen. So it's obviously very confusing to them. And I kind of felt bad about that. You know, but hopefully they'll move on and find another hive to go after or join. I don't know if bees are territorial, if they let new guys come in. I don't know that much about them. But I definitely want to research them, because it's just fantastic stuff. You know, ants as well. I still don't like ants. But just, I don't know, just the way they live is pretty amazing. Alright, so as you can see, what I'm doing here is I'm squishing this up to make this more wide. Not sure if I should have used blue, but I didn't want to use the yellow. Alright, so basically that's all I'm going to do here. Is I'm just going to widen it and make it long enough. So that's perfect, and that way I can cut off some of the bad stuff here. Okay. Try and make this even, but enough that it fits in between all of that. And that, my friends, is going to be our cane. Because I don't know what else to throw in there. I feel like I could probably put maybe a little dot on top of here. You know, I got a yellow one there. I think that'll be okay. Do I want to put one more yellow there, or put like an orange there? Or I can put another red there. Or fine, we're gonna just pop that in there right there. How's that? Okay, so, or hold on a minute. I could either do a bullseye cane, or I could just do red. I think I like this cane, and I think that one might take away from the other one. What else do I got floating around here? It's all blue. Everything I have is blue. And I didn't even use this one. Nope. Alright, we're just going to do that. Alrighty, so now I think we're done. Now we'll see if this black and white border is too much, if that makes sense. Okay, so we are going to go reduce this. Well, I guess I'm not going to reduce it too much. Let's go to 3 inches and then we'll see if we're going to reduce it again or just leave it alone. I have a feeling we'll reduce it once more. But you don't need to. You can just reduce this down and put them in your 6 slices or make it into a square. I do like squares because they're so much easier to work with if you're making like a veneer. Compared to a kaleidoscope cane with 6 pieces. To me, there's only so much that you can do with them. But I'm just going to reduce this a little bit and see what it looks like. I need to get me a couple of mirrors so that I can kind of glue them together, and so I can put it against the mirror and figure out how I want it to look. I do have a mirror, but believe it or not, I think they're all round. So before I cut into this, I might find one of those. Wrist is actually feeling much better today. That guy just wants to split. Alright, so we're almost at 3 inches. So let's get all of these canes past that point, because you can see these are way over here, but there's still some little ones here. So I just want to make sure all those get past. Okay. Alright, and then the same with this one. So now we just got to stretch this past the 3-inch mark. And I'm not going to worry about this guy. I don't really know what to do with him. So I'm just going to try and keep it intact. Okay. Alright, so this still got a little bit to go. If I can just squish him, maybe he'll stay put. Okay. And I'm just going to do this one more time. Okay, so we're going to go all the way there. And we're going to look, Okay, we got them all. So it looks kind of cool. Okay, so we could do it one more time. Or you can leave it like that, right? Ooh. Okay, well, that's not going to work. I don't really like that. I like that side better. Or you can put it together back to back like that. And then you'll have 4 of those, because this will be into a square. You'll push this like this. Okay, so we're going to go one more time. Okay, so we're going to put this right there. And this is a little bigger than 3 inches, but let's make sure. Yep, well, I got a little bit right here. Alright, so we're just going to cut that off. And we're at basically 3 1/4 here. So that's perfect. That worked out pretty well. Okay, and so again we have that. I don't like the 4 right there. Okay, so we're going to put these right here. So we're going to line them up. And I don't think I'm going to put this in a kaleidoscope cane, like put it all together into 6 pieces. I think I'm just going to leave it at 1 piece. Okay, so I am going to reduce this to, I don't know, about 3 inches. Just want to make sure that I'm using the right side, because this is going to now be the center. Yeah, we're just going to leave it alone. Alright, so I'm going to reduce this, and I'll come back and I'll show you that. And yeah, and get ready for our next video for the next time. So we'll be back in a bit. Alrighty guys, so we are done. We don't want to make this too small, because my problem is I always make my canes too small. But I know this is the end piece. But I'm going to cut them off and strip because I don't have a mirror. And this way, okay, there's our cane. I'm not really at a nice little angle, am I? So that looks good. But this is going neat. So we're going to just sit this right here and see if we can get it into a nice form. See, this needs to come in like that. Okay, so there is our cane. And, you know, again, it doesn't matter what you put into a cane. It always seems to come out pretty cool. So I like that. I may, again, have made the cane a little smaller than I wanted to. But I'm going to take these little pieces that I cut off the ends and see if I can get it back into the shape that it should have been. And we'll just kind of put it together and kind of see what it looks like, I guess. It's going to be big. Okay. And, yeah, see, I just cut the ends. And then what I'll end up doing is probably cut half of that off. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do that now. Instead of trying to fix with this, We'll just cut it in half. Okay. And let's go ahead and reduce this to about half that size. You can go much smaller if you want to make this into like a pair of earrings or something. So we're just going to do this, and hopefully we'll get the shape that I need it. Okay, so this is still going to be big, but it's just going to be quick to show you. Very small. Wow, the more I cut into this, the more I really like the colors. I like that brown. Okay. So now, I don't have any paper, but I do have a huge post-it note here. And let's see what different designs we can get out of this. I'm thinking this will fit on here. Obviously, I don't want it to stick because I want to take it apart. Okay. So we're going to change that around here. I like working on glass because it doesn't move, but I need to separate these again, so I really should not be working on glass while I do this. But we're just going to do this for an idea, right? Okay. And of course it doesn't stick on this. I might just have to put it on a tile. And I know these aren't going to fit perfectly because I don't have that center one all the way to the edge. Okay. And then usually when you make a kaleidoscope cane, you can get like 3 different ways to do it. These are perfectly symmetrical on both sides. You know, you've got your blue dot. So moving these around aren't going to really do anything, as you can see. Just a little bit different on the leaves. Now, if I were to do this end piece, right? No, even that's not working. Yeah, see, this can only go two ways. Okay, so let's put it together on this. If I were to bake this, I made these so thin, I would have to put it on a piece of backing for it. Okay, so I'm going to try and stretch that out to a nice little point. Okay, so your center has got to come straight down there. Okay. And then you have this side. Obviously you want these even, right? And then one more. Oh my goodness. That one's just not fitting quite where I want it. It's just really thin, and so they're hard to kind of move around. So now you just kind of, yeah, don't make them too thin. That's about all I can say about that. Yeah, see, we're not even here. Now I can make it even by using a cutter. I think it's a hexagon cutter that I have, or something that'll make this perfect. But this is just to show you the design, so I don't think I'll be making anything with it. So we're just going to bring this one in a little more. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So that looks a little better. Oh, and hopefully I didn't just make it so that it's smeared on top so we don't see that design really well. I tried to be gentle. So, looks kind of weird having all those leaves in the center, but I really do like it. So, that is what we got. Alright, so hope you liked it, and come back, and we're going to do the flower next time. So I'm going to make this a little smaller. This is the one I had big, but I think I'm going to cut this in half and then make it even smaller. And then maybe make a pair of earrings with these. So we'll go thicker next time. Alright guys, so that's it for the day. Have a wonderful rest of the week, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.